We're live. It is Friday. This is the Rich Lieberman Bay Area Media Pulse. And I know a lot of you are new people to this site. I've gotten some corresponding emails and buzz about people finding me, for the first time. So if that is indeed the case and you're watching live, as we are now live on YouTube, thank you. Welcome to the show. Tell all your friends, your neighbors, your enemies, your priests, your rabbis about this site, which gets by, has a little turmoil of its own from time to time, but manages somehow, some way to continue to fight forward and move on. So I want to talk about a few things today, and that has to do with, I'm the only one pretty much who has written about and spoken about all the largesse at KQED. And this involves a lot of money, multi-millions of dollars that goes to KQED, whether it's government money, grant money, endowment money, viewer pledge breaks, viewer donations. There's a lot of money going into KQED, which is interesting because all KQED does lately is cut a lot of jobs, and people being laid off, people being forced out. Meanwhile, the managers at KQED, or as we call them, the super managers, are making globs of money, just amazing amounts of money. And what do you get on KQED? Do you get any local programming? A little bit, nothing amazing. Certainly not considering the kind of money that they're making. Do you get any real local programming? Hell no. Do you get a check please program? Yeah. But KQED still does not have a local news program, a nightly newscast. And I'm not talking about in the old days when they had newsroom. I'm just talking about a basic 30 minutes newscast. They don't have that. They don't have anything but a couple of, just very mundane programs. Most of it is all fed from PBS. Meanwhile, KQED reaps millions and millions of dollars. I mentioned the other day, over $39 million just on pledge breaks alone for the year. And who knows what beyond that. Does KQED get any kind of accountability? Are there any news stories about KQED and its fiscal situation and how all this money goes to these managers? And there's no accountability. Where is the Chronicle? Where is the Chronicle? Do they write about this? Do they seek a reporter? Any kind of a reporter? They don't have an investigative reporter per se to go investigate, look at the books, and try to find where that money is going. Most of it, by the way, goes to the managers who make six-figure incomes. Where is the Chronicle? Where is the Chronicle, I keep asking. Any other city? There'd be accountability. There'd be at least inquiry, an investigation, an account, or at least an attempt. And the Chronicle, where is the Chronicle? Let's see. Let me do a little of my own investigativeness on the spot. The Chronicle is owned by the Hearst Corporation, one of the very major endowment distributors to KQED. Is that a coincidence? Don't get me wrong. KQED, via all its grants and endowment money, they get a lot more money from various companies and all that, but a significant amount of their income comes from Hearst. Hearst owns the Chronicle. Among the many media entities that it owns, newspapers, radio, television, Why isn't the Chronicle covering this? Why isn't the Chronicle sending anybody? And that may be SF Gate. No, they're only interested in purple burritos and the latest burger pop-up in Mendocino County. sfchronicle.com, the printed paper. You don't see anything about KQED and its fiscalness or lack thereof. The fact that they get all this money, and God knows where we don't know where this money is going and what they're spending it on. Yet again, the major story here, I've talked about KQED. Nobody else does. But the fact that a major newspaper in the Bay Area, the only newspaper basically, maybe this Mercury News in San Jose, but that's become almost irrelevant. Where is the Chronicle? I wonder if it has something to do with the fact the Hearst involvement in its endowment packages and its donations to KQED. You know, I wish I wasn't reporting this. It's an opinion, but it's an opinion based upon fact. And it's quite disgusting. I would hate to be amongst the scores of people at KQED, some of whom have spent considerable time there, who are being laid off. Laid off. And these are people that are not making that much money, given the fact that it's San Francisco, given the fact how close to $1 billion is the worth of KQED. That includes radio, too, which seems to be irrelevant these days, like everything else. Meanwhile, KQED and its super managers reap lots of money. For what? For what? My God, if we had a reporter at the Chronicle who went to sniff and look and try to figure out what was going on, that would be wonderful. That would be terrific. But the Chronicle doesn't do that these days. The Chronicle is a joke. It's an irrelevant joke. It's always been kind of a joke. But at least in the old days, they had accountability themselves. And they had decent columnists. They'd have people like Herb Caen, who, if Herb was given these kinds of facts, Herb himself would try to investigate, believe it or not. Or a McKay, or a Hoppy. This day, the Chronicle is completely irrelevant. Shame on them and Hearst and KQED. I hope this broadcast, like others, gets to the heart and soul of what the hell is taking place on Bryant Street. Let's move on to another topic. At KPIX, speaking of irrelevant of late, all these different reporters, all these people trying to leave, some of whom have left, like Betty Yu, like others, like, I don't know, Brian Hackney disappearing for almost 2 months, a few months back, ostensibly to take care of a personal matter involving his father, but still these weird reoccurrences of personnel at KPIX. I know at the heart of the matter has been an unease, especially rank and file, with the news director. She is named Lisa White, who apparently has a vendetta. Don't cross her, otherwise you feel the wrath. Maybe that has a lot to do with what's taking place at KPIX and their revolving door of reporters who come and go. And again, if you turn on PIX, you see people that you've never seen before. You know, they still have a Wilson Walker or, God, I can't even name all these other folks that I don't recognize, I don't see much of, and I don't watch much PIX lately. I try to watch every station, but PIX seems to have somebody new every other day, and they don't even know the area. They don't know the geography. Welcome to the rest of the Bay Area media. It's bizarre. It's sad. You know, I know they're trying a lot of things with the assist of CBS with their their weather graphics and their people standing on the set. God forbid talent would not be up there with priorities wise with standing as opposed to sitting. But again, give them some credit for trying something new. To me, it's more of a kind of a fluff deal, but what else is new? In any event, Lisa White, never met her. She's got a decent reputation, but there are a lot of people I've spoken to who have spoken about her tendency to be a little bit managerial, maybe too much, maybe playing favorites. That only seems to happen in this market, in the Bay Area. And you have a Lisa White at PIX. You have Tracy Watkowski, better known as Trixie, at KGO Channel 7. It's just the ongoing mess, unbelievable, but it takes place. A side item, people giving me crap because all I talk about is KTVU. Well, there's a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of issues going on at KTVU. And when that happens, I don't care if it's KTVU, Fox, I don't care if it's PIX, I don't care if it's Cron or Channel 7 or Channel 9 or Channel 3, NBC Bay Area. I'm going to talk about it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And believe me, I haven't even scratched the surface of what's going on at Cron and their disdain for this new general manager. He's not that new anymore. He's been there for over 2.5 years. Jim Rose and their news director and all the fluff and just bizarreness taking place at Cron. And I try to do as much as I can, but I've only got one person, and that's me, myself, and I. So yeah, when there's crapola taking place at KTVU, I will be on it and do the best that I can to try to get at least to somewhat of the bottom of it. That's why I'm here. It is so sad what is going on. I'm not going to play the old, holier than thou, the only one that's looking at all this. But you know what, folks? I'm the only one looking at all this. Where is the Chronicle on anything? Anything? Do they do any investigative reporting at all, the Chronicle? Are you kidding me? They're a joke. Where are they? They're gone. They've been gone. They don't have a media writer. Oh, they do the obligatory every now and then stories, as they call it. And they don't go out in the field. They sit at computers. I make phone calls. I inquire about things. That's why they don't like me, because they take some of my stories without giving me the proper amount of accreditation, of acknowledgement. And look, I put up with it. It's part of the norm right now. I'm putting myself in here because it has to be in that situation. Because I do check what's going on at television stations here. I do my best. Sometimes I'm not always there because I got my own issues to deal with, having nothing to do with media, taking care of business. Speaking of the Chronicle, another sports deal here. I have talked endlessly and brought up the issue of John Miller, the Giants announcer, the lead play-by-play broadcaster, who was off for almost 3 weeks in the middle of a baseball season. And yes, I know, you don't have to tell me. I know that other organizations, baseball, football, not as much, but baseball, people take time off. It's a very grueling schedule. I mean, that exhaustion, having to travel first class, having to stay in first class hotels, those airports, being winged over to the gate on the tarmac. I know that's exhausting, but somebody's got to do it, right? So here's the deal. Forget about that part of this. Where is the Chronicle? Where are the other reporters just at least asking about what happened to John Miller? Where was John Miller? That's all I want to know. Was he on vacation? Did he take a sabbatical? Did he go on a cruise ship, as I may have heard? Was he out dealing with a medical issue, as I also heard? And why the fact that he was wearing caps, a lot of caps, and during the Willie Mays funeral celebration of life on Monday night, he wore that kind of hat, that fedora. I'd at least like Madam Slusser, Susan Slusser, who covers the team for the Chronicle, to inquire, to ask. That is your job, Slusser and others. That is your job, to inquire, because you have not just a fan base, you have readers who are interested. They would also like to know why Miller was gone for 3 weeks in the middle of a pennant race, no less. It's unusual. And even those of you who don't care and are part of the Booster Club, and you go to all the little meetings and put your little Giants hat on and Buster Posey jersey, it is a fair question. Some people really do want to know. And yes, covering the team involves not just the team on the baseball field, the front office, the organization, the players, and yes, the broadcast crew. It's not just my opinion. It's other organizations. If this had happened with the Mets in New York, or the Yankees, or LA with the Dodgers, or the Angels, or Chicago, or Philadelphia, or Houston, there would have been an article or some note by the reporters covering the team and telling its readers, who have a right to know, about the situation. That's all I'm saying. It is bizarre, it is unprofessional, and frankly, it is disgusting, embarrassing that Susan Slusser, whose idea of covering the team is to cheer for Buster Posey every now and then, even when he's not been playing for a couple of years now. Slusser, what a joke. What a complete, abject joke. This is the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse for Friday. It is incumbent upon you, if you can, to make a contribution to my site so I can continue to give you the news, information, entertainment, occasionally some scoops, and opinion on Bay Area and sometimes national media and beyond. If you make a contribution, I will personally thank you via email and or a phone call. And again, thanking you for making a contribution. How do you make a contribution? You go up on my site. On the right side of the blog, you see the PayPal icon. Click on it. It's fast. It's 100,000% safe, secure, and you'll be helping me maintain my existence here, which in essence is your ombudsman on Bay Area media, keeping you informed and hopefully entertained. It is Friday. We'll see you later and have a great day.